What up? What up? It's your boy Ola here with Ola TV, guys. And in this edition, we're going to be talking about WWE Raw. This one is going to be for Raw August 1st, 2022. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Sorry for, starting the show a little bit later than normal. Usually start the show on time. So right now, as far as the current recaps of Raw, um, the match that I was just watching not too long ago was Seth freaking Rollins versus Montez Ford. Montez Ford almost gets the victory over Seth freaking Rollins. Unfortunately, Montez Ford ends up missing the frog splash off the top rope. Seth freaking Rollins rolls out of the way. Well, actually, Seth freaking Rollins puts the knees in the air. And once he puts the knees in the air, Montez Ford lands directly onto the knees, stomach first. And Montez Ford apparently had some injured ribs. I guess it was probably from last night's match during SummerSlam, and so because of that, he came into Raw tonight with not 100% as far as his abdomen area is concerned. So when the knees drove straight into Montez Ford's stomach, that caused a major impact. Seth freaking Rollins was then able to go ahead and capitalize on that himself. He ends up landing his finisher onto Montez Ford, goes for the 1, 2, 3, and Seth freaking Rollins ends up getting the victory. Proceeding a little bit after that, they started showing some highlights from WWE SummerSlam. For those that don't know, WWE SummerSlam was hosted in Nashville, Tennessee. WWE SummerSlam was basically epic from beginning to end. I was actually there in person. I don't even know what I could say was the best night of the evening. Well, I should say I don't know was the best fight or the best part of the evening. There's so much happened between Roman Reigns retaining the title now for what I think is like 699 or 698 days, which now I think he's over that. It's probably about 700. Also, you had Austin Theory try to cash in the Money in the Bank, was unsuccessful. But unfortunately, because he was knocked out prior to actually trying to cash in the Money in the Bank, I'm assuming that means that he still has the Money in the Bank to be able to reuse, or I should say, to use it at a future date. Then you had Bayley return, a couple of other girls returned at the beginning of the SummerSlam show. Um, a lot of crazy stuff. Logan Paul also had a pretty good match. I thought that match was actually going to suck, but it actually turned out to be pretty damn good. So Logan Paul had a phenomenal match at SummerSlam. What else? We had also the return of Edge. That was surprising as well. Some people kind of speculated Edge. I was thinking and hoping that it would have been Bray Wyatt. Fortunately, he did not return, so it was Edge that returned. But either way, that's still good that someone returned to take on and provide some assistance against the Judgment Day. So that was a surprise. Um, Brock Lesnar came so many times close to winning, so I was surprised that he didn't get the victory because he did not want to quit. But Roman Reigns and the Usos and other things that occurred, they found a way to get it done. So yeah, SummerSlam was pretty good. Tonight we're covering Raw for August 1st, 2022. I missed the first 30, 40 minutes of the show, so not 100% sure how the show opened. When I started watching, I started a little bit late, so I started watching the Seth freaking Rollins versus the Montez Ford match, and it looks like Montez Ford was close to getting the victory, but unfortunately, Seth freaking Rollins does come up with the victory. And on that match, again, as I stated, Montez Ford went high risk. It didn't pay off. And then from there, the knees go into his abdomen, courtesy of the knees of Seth freaking Rollins. Seth ends up landing his own finisher, and he ends up going for the quick pinfall and gets the 1, 2, 3. The next match that's coming up now on Raw is going to be Alexa Bliss versus Asuka. It looks like it's a one-on-one match. And the reason why I was talking about SummerSlam shortly was because that was the current promo that was showing on Raw prior to the women's match that's taking place right now. So now the women's match has gone on the way. And Alexa Bliss with a huge drop kick to the face of Asuka and then starts taunting her. Asuka gets pissed off after she does the taunt, goes for a quick kick to the face but misses. Alexa Bliss then gets caught, gets wrapped up, and then Asuka decides to do her own little taunt, has to say Alexa Bliss 2 can play at that game. Oof, a huge knee to the face by Alexa Bliss across the face of Asuka. She's got a one-on-one singles match here for the women, non-title. Neither of these women have a title, just fighting to move up the ranks in the women's division for hopefully a future opportunity to be able to get a title shot. Alexa Bliss, I know, wants to climb the top of the ladder. Asuka, returned not too long ago, a few weeks back, so obviously she wants to get back into the top of the women's division again. Right now, a headlock across the neck of Asuka by Alexa Bliss. Now Asuka starts doing elbow shots to the midsection to reverse, and Alexa takes her down, does a flip over her body, does another flip. Asuka gets back up, and then driving boots to the face of Alexa Bliss, courtesy of Asuka. Asuka goes for another kick, but that one misses. A couple of swinging reverse shots caught to the face of Alexa, and then Asuka ends up grabbing Alexa right through the waist area for a nice little German suplex, and then a flying move going towards the turnbuckle, booty first into the abdomen area of Alexa Bliss by Asuka. The knees to the face of Alexa. Oh no. Dakota Kai, Bayley, and Sky all coming into the ring right now, attacking Alexa Bliss and Asuka simultaneously. So the bell has rung and the referee has stopped the match in account of interference. And now Bayley, with an absolute happy smile on her face, and does a flying knee across Alexa Bliss's face as the other 2 women hold Alexa Bliss. And now Asuka looks like she's about to get the same treatment. Oof. Asuka ends up receiving a major kick across the face. So a 3-on-2 right now handicap interference going on. The original match was Alexa Bliss versus Asuka, and they're getting completely woman handled by Bayley and the other 2 women who returned on SummerSlam. Oh, but now Bianca Belair coming out to try to even the odds, and all 3 girls run out of the building across to where the fans are seated front row. So Bayley, proud of herself. Bianca Belair screaming on the microphone, grabs a mic and says she doesn't care which of the 3 women she gets tonight. She wants to fight one-on-one with one of those 3 women. So Asuka and Alexa Bliss get saved by Bianca Belair. They got assaulted by Bayley and her crew momentarily, and then Bianca Belair came out to go ahead and stop the abuse. And then she says she wants a match one-on-one with any of the 3 women. So Bianca Belair looking to come to be the saving grace of Asuka and Alexa Bliss tonight. And ironically, that actually almost happened to her on SummerSlam, because Bayley and the other girls that returned, they wanted to go ahead and do a 3-on-1, jump move, gangbang, basically, on Bianca Belair, no pun intended. And at the pay-per-view, Bianca Belair had just finished having a one-on-one match against Becky Lynch, Big Time Becky. And it seems like Becky may be turning into from a heel into a face, because right when Bianca Belair was about to get jumped by all 3 women, Becky stands up and tries to even the odds 3-on-2. She starts asking for the beef, like meaning, come on, let's get this shit on. Tries to ask for the fight, and Bayley and the other 2 women end up, exiting the ring and end up not doing anything in that regard. So they try to pull that stunt move on SummerSlam 2 nights ago, the SummerSlam that was hosted in Nissan Stadium, Nashville, Tennessee. So now they try to do the same thing tonight, but tonight they actually were a little bit more successful in that regard, where they triple teamed First, they triple teamed Alexa Bliss, and then they triple teamed um, what's her name, Asuka. So right now, Bayley already making a huge impact, making waves. So far we're seeing that uh, Triple H, the new era of wrestling, which is the Triple H era of wrestling, so far is so good. I should say so far it's been so good. Looks like he's been on the move to be able to go ahead and kind of rectify some things that maybe if Vince was still, head honcho, probably wouldn't be happening, because a lot of these women that returned at SummerSlam and that also showed up again tonight on Raw, were still like on the shelf. Some of them were potentially going to get released. Some of them were possibly not going to be returning based on what Vince wanted to do. But now that Vince is gone and Triple H is the head honcho, the new form of leadership, especially for talent relations, looks like the things are starting to change a bit here. So, especially in the women's division. So it looks like business is picking up. Bayley's return is going definitely noticed, not going unnoticed. And so far, she's been making a high impact not only on SummerSlam, but tonight on Monday Night Raw as well. All right. So at this time, it is currently on a commercial break. Just wanted to state that for those who probably may or may not have known, I did go ahead and drive 10 hours, 10 plus long hours, and drove all the way um, to watch WWE SummerSlam this past Saturday. So if you were possibly looking for a live stream at that time, that would be the reason why you did not see a live stream from me with WWE SummerSlam. Typically, I would try to get the pay per view and then from there give you the live updates on the pay per view. But I was actually in person watching SummerSlam, meaning that I drove all the way from Florida to Tennessee. Did a long 10-hour drive. As a matter of fact, I'm still pretty exhausted. So that's kind of the reason why I kind of started this Raw late today, because I wasn't even 100% sure if I was going to have the energy to do Raw tonight. So I apologize for the late start. But yeah, that's primarily the reason, was because still kind of fatigued, still kind of drained, and still kind of tired from WWE SummerSlam. But what I am going to do is continue to give you the live updates on Raw. I've already given you the update so far on the Montez Ford match. Montez Ford loses to Seth freaking Rollins, which was earlier in the evening. Just gave a little bit of the update on that. Gave a little bit of update on the Asuka versus Alexa Bliss, which that match pretty much ended quickly because Bayley and her girls, who all returned at SummerSlam, interfered in this match. And then Bianca Belair comes to the saving grace of Alexa Bliss and Asuka to make sure that they don't get jumped even worse than what they already have. And now it looks like Bianca Belair has gotten her wish. Later on tonight, Io Sky is going to take on Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair did make a request to fight any of the three women, and it looks like Sky has decided to take the challenge. So it's going to be Belair versus Sky. I would have liked to see it as Belair versus Bayley, considering that Bayley is the kind of the head honcho of the three girls, but it looks like it's going to be Belair versus Sky later on tonight. Coming up next, looks like it's going to be Dolph Ziggler going up in competition. Let's see if it's going to be one-on-one or if it's going to be a tag team match. But yeah, guys, going back to alluding to SummerSlam, I actually drove from Florida to Tennessee. Probably one of the best SummerSlams I think I've seen in a very long time. As we speak on that, it looks like let's see, Ciampa's coming out to the ring as well. Dolph Ziggler is already in the ring. So yeah, SummerSlam, pretty awesome pay-per-view. Had a lot of fun watching it. And I'll tell you what, driving to Tennessee, not the best drive. I mean, it's fun road tripping it, but I'll tell you what, man, driving back home, it is absolutely tiring to do that drive. So, yeah, it was fun. The driving part wasn't the best fun, but the being at the stadium was pretty fun, and I'll give you more updates on that. Let's see. Looks like Master Gable's coming out to the ring. Mr. Shoosh. Mr. Shoosh coming out to the ring. Gable says he's gonna put this country on his back, and he's gonna basically destroy any competition that's in his way. He says that he's not gonna have to cheat, and he's not gonna be a disgrace like the Houston Astros. If you don't know, the Houston Astros is the Houston, Texas baseball team, and Houston Astros. There's been a lot of controversy through their victories of the MLB, where they basically scouted in certain ways that teams shouldn't, and also kind of cheated in order to win their Major League Baseball World Series championship. So that is what Mr. Gable was alluding to in his segment. He says that he's going to win. He's going to win the rightful way, and he's not going to do it like the disgraceful Houston Rockets. So throwing shade and throwing shots at the Houston Rockets. So it looks like it's Dolph Ziggler versus Ciampa versus Mr. Gable. It's a triple threat match here tonight, triple threat singles. And he says when he wins, he's going to win basically gracefully. And then he says, "Oh, thank you." I tell you what, Mr. Gable was one of those guys that I'll tell you, I'll be honest, I wasn't a big fan, but his gimmick has produced for sure and has changed tremendously, especially when he's become, tag team partners with Otis. In my opinion, he's become a bit of a better wrestler, and also gimmick wise, personality wise, and comedy wise, he's become a lot better. So definitely, I think he's a lot better. A lot better, wrestler, and a lot better gimmick as far as that goes. So entertaining for sure. Makes me laugh every time I watch his matches, or anytime he has little microphone segments where he's spitting game to people. So right now it is a triple threat match, but both guys are actually attacking Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler gets out of it, kicks Ciampa into the stomach, a few punches to Mr. Gable. Oof. Ciampa ends up throwing Dolph Ziggler towards the turnbuckle. Dolph Ziggler lands over the third turnbuckle. It hits his head against the post, lands onto the ground. And now Ciampa going one-on-one against Mr. Gable, while Dolph Ziggler is temporarily knocked out. And a nice Olympian suplex by Gable onto Ciampa. Then he puts his boot behind the spinal cord of Ciampa and slams him to the ground. Dolph Ziggler reawakens. High impact move to Mr. Gable, and then Dolph Ziggler tries to go for a pin, but Mr. Gable ends up kicking out. I'm not sure if this triple threat match is supposed to be for a number one contendership, because also during Gable's segment where he was talking prior to starting this match, he did say he was going to be a better champion. So maybe this is a triple threat match. Not 100% sure if it's it is a triple threat match, but I'm wondering if it's a triple threat for a number one contendership for a title shot. So I'm wondering which title this is a reference to. I think this is possibly a qualifier match for a title shot, but I don't know which title in specific because he didn't state so. I don't know if it's for the U.S. I don't know if it's for maybe Intercontinental. Speaking of which, Ciampa goes for a 2 count on Gable. Well, pinfall, and he gets a 2 count. Gable ends up kicking out. Ciampa, in frustration, ends up stomping onto the hands of Gable. Now Ciampa going after Dolph Ziggler. Tries to go for a pin. Gable breaks that up. And a nice vertical suplex from Gable onto Ciampa. Goes for a pin himself, but it's only going to be a 2 count. And now Gable working on the left arm of Ciampa, just snapping it around with his knees, smashing his knees into his to his joint area, doing that twice, then slams the arm against the mat, and then starts taunting to the fans. Thank you. Oh, shit. This guy Gable's a fucking comedian. Oh, and a nice hard DDT by Dolph Ziggler onto the dome of Gable. Goes for an immediate pin. Oof, and it looks like it's going to be a kick out, and it's going to be a 2. Oh man, speaking of 2, WWE's SummerSlam this past weekend. When I was there, it was phenomenal because so many matches, people thought it was going to end one way, and it ends up going in the opposite direction than they thought. Ciampa ends up attacking Dolph Ziggler. High impact move to the face of Dolph Ziggler, and then Dolph Ziggler ends up rolling out of the ring. Now Ciampa taking Gable up to the third as Dolph Ziggler has been uh, hit with the big impact move. Ziggler is out of the ring temporarily. Ciampa, I don't know if he's going for a superplex. I don't know if he's going for a Samoan drop off the third. Looks like Gable breaks that up. And Ciampa's off the third rope. Gable jumps from the top of the third. Oof. Flying fist to the face of Ciampa. Gable goes for a pin. And it's going to be a 2. It's only going to be a 2 count. Now, Gable in frustration throws Ciampa out of the ring. And Dolph Ziggler back in the ring. Face to face against Gable, talking smack. Gets shoved by Gable. Ziggler ends up shoving him back. And now the boys are going at it. Gable trying to grab the legs of Dolph Ziggler. Tries to flip him over. Ziggler then ends up trying to get Gable in a pin. Both men trying to get the upper hand on each other, but they keep reversing the move from their opponent. Ziggler goes for a pin. That's no good. Oh, and now an ankle lock. Oh, Ziggler tries to reverse it, but then another ankle lock by Gable. Showing signs of vintage Kurt Angle here. Oh, shit. Gable has the ankle lock and Ciampa has the crossface. Both finishers on top of Ziggler, and they're both trying to simultaneously make Ziggler tap out. Now Ciampa tries to attack Gable. Gable keeps the ankle lock on. Both submission holds are broken. Ziggler rolls up Gable, goes for a pin. It's a 2 count. And then Gable rolls Ziggler back into the ankle lock. Ziggler screaming in pain. Ciampa ends up attacking Gable across the back of the head. Tries to go for a quick pinfall. Only gets a 2 count. And Ziggler almost looking like he was going to tap. Couldn't tell if he was going to tap to the ankle lock or the crossface because he was receiving punishment from both wrestlers at the same time. Ziggler was in a double submission hold. He was receiving the ankle lock and he was also receiving the crossface simultaneously. Ciampa had the crossface and Gable had the ankle lock onto Ziggler. So Ziggler in a lot of pain right now, and now he's being attacked by Ciampa. Gable right now either laying on the mat or rolls somewhere outside the ring. And Ciampa right now chomping away at the chest of Ziggler with 2 chops across the chest like Ric Flair style. Now he's got Ziggler off the top of the third. He's got Ziggler on his back and off the second rope, slams him down to the mat. 1, 2. Oh, shit, it was almost a 3 count. But Gable jumping off from a different side of a different turnbuckle, flying head first and lands on top of the count and ends up breaking the 3 count. So the match will still continue and still no victor in this triple threat match. Pretty good triple threat match. Okay, so a nice big chop across the chest. It looks like oh shit, Ciampa just taking it to Gable right now. First a big chop, then a huge punch to the face. Then he goes for a flying knee, but Gable reverses that. Then Gable goes for a German suplex, and Dolph Ziggler simultaneously grabs Ciampa midway in the air by the neck. So he catches a double move by Ziggler and Gable. Ziggler tries to go for a pin onto Gable, and then it looks like it's going to be a 2 count, and all men laying waste to each other. All 3 of them laying down on the ground. Actually, it looks like Ziggler was landing the zigzag move onto Gable. I thought there was a a double move onto Ciampa. It was actually a German suplex by Gable to Ciampa while simultaneously catching the zigzag move by Ziggler onto Gable. So it was like two moves being done to two different guys at the same time simultaneously. Gable gets thrown out of the ring. Ciampa goes for a pin, tries to grab the pants. It's only a 2 count. Ziggler reverses, try to do the same cheat move, grabs the underwears of Ciampa. It's only going to be a 2 count. Oof, and now Ciampa catches a huge super kick by Ziggler across the chest. Ziggler gets thrown out of the ring. Gable tries to take advantage of the super kick that was landed by Ziggler to Ciampa. Fortunately, Ziggler ends up pulling Gable out of the ring. And then now Ciampa with a huge knee across the face of Ziggler. Ziggler is outside of the ring. Gable goes for a pin. Ciampa kicks out. Ciampa with a huge knee across the face of Gable. Now Ciampa doing the fairy tale ending finisher onto Gable. Plants it. 1, 2, 3. Holy shit. And Ciampa gets the victory. And it's been announced earlier that the winner of this match will face AJ Styles. And whoever faces AJ Styles and wins will then get the number one contendership for the United States Championship against Bobby Lashley. And since Ciampa was able to get this victory in this triple threat match, he will have the opportunity after winning this qualifier. He will go one-on-one against AJ Styles later on tonight to be the deciding winner. And whoever wins that match between Ciampa, the current winner of this match, and then AJ Styles, will then get the number one contendership opportunity for the United States Championship against the current champ, who is Bobby Lashley. And in case if you didn't already know, Bobby Lashley did retain his title successfully against Mr. A-Town, Mr. Austin Theory, Mr. Youngest Money in the Bank. He was able to, Bobby Lashley was able to successfully defend his title. Bobby Lashley was able to win that match. If I'm not mistaken, I think that match was actually fair and square from what I remember. It was a very long pay-per-view, and these days my memory has been terrible. I don't know why, but I can tell you that I was there in person. I watched it live, and Bobby Lashley was able to win against Austin Theory with no outside interference, just a straight one-on-one match, a great match. And I could tell you this, SummerSlam, if you didn't watch it, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can do a recap. Not tonight, but I will try to do a live stream recap of SummerSlam where I give you guys kind of, my point of view of the matches, give you my point of view of how the matches went down, seeing it live and in person, give you some behind the scenes, maybe some footage of a little bit of shots of the Nissan Stadium Arena, so you can see how beautiful the stadium was, and you can see how close I was to ringside. I was about 2 sections behind ringside, so I was on the floor seats area. And SummerSlam, man, really good pay-per-view, worth every penny. A lot of the results that I wanted happened. Some of the results didn't. For example, Bray Wyatt did not show up, but it's okay. We did get Edge's return. We did get Bayley's return, and a couple of other chicks return too. So it wasn't a huge letdown as far as surprise appearances is concerned. However, it would have been nice to see Bray Wyatt actually be one of the returns for SummerSlam. Unfortunately, he wasn't. So I guess no Bray Wyatt at this time. But still enjoyed the pay-per-view. Still felt it was worth the 10-hour drive. Still super exhausted from that 10-hour drive. And also I did actually meet Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan was doing a meet and greet. She was doing a meet and greet with the C4 Energy Company. And so in that meet and greet, she was basically allowing people to take a photo with her, which I did take a photo with her. I'll go ahead and try to get that for, the live stream when I do the SummerSlam recap. So if you guys are interested in that, I'm going to show you a couple of behind the scenes stuff for SummerSlam sometime this week. So look out for that live stream. So make sure that you're subscribed to, the YouTube channel and the Facebook channel and the Twitch as well. So that way you can be able to catch notifications of the live stream. And then for YouTube and Facebook, if you're already a subscriber or a follower, make sure that you go ahead and put on the notifications and make sure you stay tuned, because I will be giving you guys the SummerSlam recap from my point of view, from the live edition, me being live in person, giving you how everything turned out, when I went to see the pay-per-view in Nashville, Tennessee. Phenomenal pay-per-view, probably one of the best SummerSlams I think that I've seen in a long time. and I think also probably one of the best pay-per-views that I think I visited. WrestleMania usually is really good, which I've went to several of those. Never been to a SummerSlam. This was my first time, going to a SummerSlam. It was my first time visiting Nissan Stadium where the Tennessee Titans play. That's where SummerSlam was hosted, and it was my first time visiting Nashville. So a couple of first times. I've been to Tennessee before, but it was typically in the Knoxville area. This was my first visit in Nashville. So it was a great time to visit Nashville. First time for the first time visiting SummerSlam, first time for the first time, and what's it called? Yeah, just all around a couple of first times, great times, enjoyed it. Fans were electric, matches were awesome, surprise returns and appearances were magnificent. So all around a really good pay-per-view. I think the only letdown, well, I should say not the only letdown, but one of the few letdowns of the evening also was that Riddle had returned. Um, he didn't really have a match, but he returned in a small segment where he started talking smack about even though he's injured, he's not going to allow himself to stay on the shelf, and basically he's going to make sure that Seth Rollins gets what he deserves. Seth Rollins overheard that, ran into the ring, beats up Riddle, gives Riddle the finisher, and that was pretty much it. That was all she wrote. Riddle was laid out. I thought at that moment that would have been a perfect opportunity for Bray Wyatt to maybe return, because I thought Bray Wyatt would essentially return either in a segment against Seth Rollins, because Seth Rollins' match was discontinued due to the fact that Riddle got injured on Raw last week. They did not have a match for Riddle, and then Seth Rollins was scheduled to go up against Riddle because Riddle was going to be not in action. I figured, well, this would be a perfect segue for maybe Bray Wyatt to return and maybe try to spook Seth Rollins a little bit. They didn't do that, and then also I thought Bray Wyatt maybe would return against the Judgment Day on their segment. That didn't happen either, so no Bray Wyatt. Keep mentioning it because I'm super disappointed that didn't occur. And then Riddle just getting beat up on SummerSlam was kind of a waste of time. It was useless because he already got beat up on Raw by Seth Rollins. He got laid out. He caught the finisher on the staircase, which ultimately caused Riddle to get the injury, which caused Riddle to be out of action, which is what caused the Riddle and Seth Rollins one-on-one to be discontinued at SummerSlam. So with that being said, why would they bring Riddle back for a short segment in SummerSlam to just get destroyed by Seth Rollins yet again and to end up looking like a loser again? So they made him look like, a loser at the end of Raw last week, and then they furthered that by making him get his ass whooped towards, the last hour of SummerSlam, where Riddle came out, talked shit, and then Seth Rollins responded and pretty much beat up Riddle. So I don't know what was the point of that segment, but it is what it is. Now, the reason why I went off on a tangent on that is because I wanted to give a little bit of few minor disappointments, not big disappointments, but minor disappointments for SummerSlam. And also right now it's commercial break, so figured we'll give you guys a little bit of on the inside of what kind of disappointed me. So the Riddle and Seth Rollins, SummerSlam situation was not really needed. And then Bray Wyatt not returning, that kind of was an overall disappointed for me. But other than that, I would say WWE SummerSlam was pretty much on the ball. Every match was very good, high level matches, and I would say overall, I'd give SummerSlam a high rating. I would say if I had to rate it out of 10, I'd probably give it a solid 8, 7.5, solid 8 around there, between a 7.5 and an 8. And I don't usually rate WWE pay-per-views that high, but I'd say SummerSlam could get at least an 8. 8 out of 10, I think is reasonable. I think it's not that high if you actually watched all the matches in their full entirety and if you enjoyed all the matches. And I, for one, did enjoy pretty much almost all the matches. I think the only other disappointment I would say at SummerSlam would be the Corbin match. Not a not really a fan of Corbin, and the match wasn't that good. So that was a match that actually put me to sleep, physically, literally put me to sleep. I was actually sleeping during that match. But every other match, I was invested, highly interested, and enjoyed the entire pay per view. All right, so now it looks like we're off commercial break for Monday Night Raw. So just waiting to see what's going to be the next upcoming match or the next upcoming segment of any trash talking. Um, so as soon as the commercial is over, go ahead and give you the update on that. Also, guys, just in case if you're tuning in, If you happen to watch the recap of this Raw, just to let you know, I missed the first 30 or 40 minutes or so of Raw. So, yeah, I don't have the official updates of what occurred to open Raw. So I don't know if there's been any new, new surprise appearances yet. I'd have to look that up and give a recap on that. And also, not sure if anyone came out to do trash talking for their victories as well as trash talking for their losses. A lot happened at SummerSlam, so I know there's a lot of stuff that was expected to happen on Raw tonight. I know a lot of people are tuning in. Oh shit! And as we speak, speaking of SummerSlam having a lot of big impacts and returns, of course, as I mentioned earlier, Edge was one of those people that did return to SummerSlam. If you weren't aware already, to take on Judgment Day, he came in to surprise everyone that he was the surprise appearance, well, one of the big surprise appearances of the evening. And now Edge is coming out here tonight on Raw, and it looks like he's going to have something more than likely to say. He doesn't have wrestling ring attire, so I'm assuming that he's going to come out here to potentially, discuss and trash talk, what he did at SummerSlam, which was to basically attack Judgment Day and be able to cost them their match. So Edge is on the way to the ring as we speak and awaiting what he has to say on the microphone. Maybe he may even announce that he's returning back to the ring as a regular contender, a daily contender. Who knows? Or maybe it's just going to be a speech just talking about how happy he was that he successfully took out Judgment Day single-handedly, basically, to help cost him the match. But Edge coming back with big payback at SummerSlam. So if you missed it, Edge was a huge deciding factor in that match with Judgment Day. Now Edge standing in the middle of the ring with a smile on his face, looking at the fans as the fans give him a standing ovation for showing up not only for Raw tonight, but also for his tactics that he performed against Judgment Day at SummerSlam on Saturday, this past Saturday. So let's see what Edge has to say. Starts off by thanking Houston for the standing ovation because it is being hosted tonight in Houston, Texas, as far as Raw is concerned. Here we go. Let's see what his speech has to say. Yeah, he's talking smack right now about Judgment Day. I'll recap his words in just a moment. So basically, he's saying that he's been in the business for 30 years. And let me see. And he says that he figured that he would try to grab onto some talent into WWE, aka Damian Priest, Finn Balor, and Rhea Ripley. He figured that he would get the talent that is uprising and be able to share his cumulative knowledge of 30 years to help them to be able to go ahead and be more successful. And unfortunately, they turned their backs on him. So he didn't expect that. And now he's saying that Judgment Day put him through hell prior to SummerSlam, and now he was able to basically get revenge on them at SummerSlam. And now he's calling them out. And now he says all three names. He says Priest, Balor, Ripley. I am here to end Judgment Day. So Edge is on a huge, huge task, saying that he's going to lay out Judgment Day. We don't know when, we don't know how, but apparently Edge, not only did he feel good about his revenge on SummerSlam, but he's feeling even better tonight because apparently he's not going to just stop at SummerSlam. He is going to go out there and handle Judgment Day one way or another, and saying he's going to get even more revenge in the near future. So Edge potentially back for a little while. Looks like he's not leaving anytime soon. Looks like he will be back in WWE to continue his revenge against Judgment Day. Looks like even though cost, he helped cost them the match at SummerSlam. It looks like that's not going to be enough revenge for Edge. Edge is going to be on pursuit of all three members of the Judgment Day, the crew that he originally created. He's not going to go ahead and destroy all three of them. So we'll see how that develops in future Raws, pay-per-views, etc. All right, guys. So right now we had a short segment with the Mysterios. It was Rey Mysterio and his son Dominic. They basically stated that they were very happy with the fact that they got their victory at SummerSlam, and they stated that they're going to be looking forward to taking on the Usos for the tag team titles, and they're looking forward to becoming the new tag team champions. Now, I'll be honest with you. Um, and by the way, that's another spoiler alert. If you didn't know already, the Usos were able to successfully retain their titles. They took on the Street Profits, a phenomenal match against the Street Profits. Unfortunately, the Street Profits came up short and they were not able to go ahead and get the victory. So the Street Profits are still not able to take those tag team titles away from the Usos. The Usos were able to win the match successfully. They were able to win it definitively this time. There was no how do I say, there was no controversy on this victory the way that we've had in the previous matches between Usos and Street Profits, where at Money in the Bank first you had the Usos winning, and Street Profits were complaining that their shoulders were off the mat, and then later on they had a second match. Then of course they had the controversy where Usos lose the match, but their arms were not laid on the mat, and then they had to square it off at SummerSlam. So at SummerSlam, Usos were able to successfully retain the titles. Usos were happy to retain, and Street Profits continued to not be able to regain or take the titles from the Usos. So, with that being said, a lot of people prior to that match, actually leading up to that match, a lot of people were saying that they think that the Street Profits are going to break up and go their separate ways because they feel that Montez Ford is obviously the more talented one over Angelo, and that's why Angelo has started to pick up, his in-ring ability and his techniques and his fighting style to kind of offset what people have been saying, and to be able to prove people wrong and saying that Street Profits should break up and that Montez Ford should move on, with singles matches. So ironically, that was a lot of the talk leading up to SummerSlam. Now, the Street Profits, had they won the titles, that would have probably put all that conversation into the dust, and people probably would have just, accepted the fact that these guys are going to be a long-term tag team in the tag team division. Unfortunately, the fact that they lost is now going to heighten and increase the volume of those speculators, haters, etc., on the notion that Street Profits may potentially end up, breaking apart. I'm hoping that the Street Profits do not break apart. However, it seems like WWE may be leading in that direction, or at least implicating that they're leading in that direction. And the fact that the Street Profits lost to the Usos at SummerSlam furthers that possibility. And then tonight, Montez Ford ends up losing a one-on-one match against Seth Rollins. And if I'm not mistaken, Angelo Dawkins was nowhere to be found in that match to assist Montez Ford with the victory. You would assume that they probably would have, had at least Dawkins on the outside of the ring to help Montez Ford, because typically when it's a team that's a tag team, they're usually going to help each other out, even in singles matches, and usually cause some type of interference to make their opponent lose, even if it's not in a tag team match. In this case, Montez Ford had a one-on-one match with Seth Rollins. No Angelo Dawkins in the side, in the corner of the ring for Montez. So now I'm wondering, are they making these not just speculations, but maybe it's going to become a reality that the Street Profits, are going to break up. Also, when I went to the meet and greet to meet up with with Liv Morgan. Prior to Liv Morgan's meet and greet was the Street Profits meet and greet, and a lot of the fans that were waiting online to meet Street Profits was chanting certain things. They were chanting like, "Don't break up, don't break up," like chanting to the Street Profits that they don't want them to go their separate ways and they want them to continue being a tag team because the fans are basically telling them at the meet and greet that they're verbalizing that they enjoy them being a tag team and they enjoy them being together. So a lot of controversy right now as to which direction is going to happen or go with the Street Profits. And it was very vocal from the fans, that they know that WWE is potentially going to separate them. And it's also alarming at the fact that Street Profits I knew they were going to lose, but the fact that they actually lost at SummerSlam, and then tonight you have a singles match with Montez Ford against Seth Rollins, and you don't get any assistance from your tag team partner Angelo Dawkins to kind of maybe help create interference or help you win the match, that kind of speaks even more volumes. So between SummerSlam and Raw tonight, and then also everything leading up to SummerSlam, it seems like Street Profits are potentially going to be not a tag team anymore somewhere down the line. So we'll see how that develops. Now we've got a little backstage segment with Dakota Kai, Io Sky, and Bayley. Bayley doing, of course, all the talking for the three girls. And Bayley says, "What did you expect?" She's like, "What do you expect us to do when we come out here when we make our return?" She says the show has been on a downward spiral. She says Raw itself is on a downward spiral, and she needed to take it upon herself, team up with these three girls. Excuse me, team up with these two girls, so three of them can bring the show back up to a level where it deserves to be. So she basically has been disappointed with the Raw. She's been disappointed with the Raw's providing. I'm mixing up my words here. Bayley is disgusted basically with Raw's talent and with Raw in several weeks and several months. So she's saying that she has to take Raw to the next level and she had to team up with these girls, Dakota Kai and Io Sky, to be able to go ahead and make a new faction to lead Raw into another level of greatness. Because apparently, without Dakota, without Io Sky, and without herself, Bayley, Bayley is stating that Raw has been on a massive decline as far as performance, ratings, in-ring talent, etc. So she believes she's going to elevate the industry and elevate Raw into a level that it should be on because it's been basically slacking without the talent of these three women. So we'll see how these three women perform and take Raw into the next level and also take the future pay-per-views into the next level. I don't know if everyone would agree with the fact and the notion that Bailey says that Raw and pay-per-views and everything else as far as content for WWE has been on a decline since Bailey has been gone. But to each their own. Everyone has their own opinion. Bailey believes that the talent and the matches haven't been up to par. She believes the content hasn't been as good ever since that she's been out, ever since Dakota Kai's been out, ever since Io Sky's been out. But we'll see how the content progresses now that they're all back, and it looks like they're going to be here full time in the women's division. Now we've got Bianca Belair coming out to the ring, going one-on-one against Io Sky. Io Sky has already made her way to the ring. This match is just a normal singles match, one-on-one. It's not going to be for the title. And it looks like Io Sky came to the ring by herself. Io Sky was not accompanied by Dakota Kai and was not accompanied by Bayley. So very surprised that the two other women are not out there tonight to go ahead and be on the ring corner of Io Sky. But I'm pretty sure that Bayley will interfere in this match one way or another, whether it's midway through the match, at the end of the match, or after the match. So here we go, one-on-one, Io Sky. Bianca Belair has officially started. Bianca Belair attacking the midsection of Io Sky, throws her to the corner, now attacking the ribs and the bottom tit area. Couple of shoulder shots into the midsection and upper body. Bianca Belair looking absolutely pissed off at the fact that these three women tried to jump her at SummerSlam, and then also pissed off that they did successfully jump both Alexa Bliss and Asuka earlier on Raw tonight. So Bianca Belair taking out a lot of frustration, not only for herself, but also frustration that may have been set in by the attack earlier on Raw by these three women who attacked Asuka and Alexa Bliss, which caused that singles match to be short ended due to the fact that the three women did attack both Alexa and Asuka. And now Bianca Belair on the outside of the ring and a backflip, a moonsault by Io Sky, landing it onto Bianca Belair successfully. Bianca Belair has been laid out on the outside of the ring. Io Sky right now getting back on her feet, and it's going to a quick commercial break. So far, the match started off with Bianca Belair having a little bit of slight advantage, a little bit of momentum to start off the one-on-one competition tonight. And all of a sudden, Io Sky now looking like she's turning it all around, starting to take advantage of Bianca Belair, and the momentum starting to shift over in her direction. As soon as the commercial break is over, I'll go ahead and continue and give you more live updates on that. But it was, so the other surprise appearances for those who may have just tuned in at WWE SummerSlam, there was several surprise appearances. One of the set of surprise appearances was Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. So they did it progressively. What they did first was they opened up SummerSlam with the one-on-one women's match. It was Bianca Belair defending the Raw Women's title against Becky Lynch, to Big Time Becky. Um, Becky Lynch lost fair and square. Bianca Belair retained the title. So if you're not aware, that was one of the results of SummerSlam. Bianca Belair retained the title. Then she hugged it out with Becky Lynch, and after they hugged it out, all of a sudden you hear Bayley's music hit, and the Titantron shows Bayley's name, and the crowd just exploded. I mean, the electricity was flowing through the stadium at Nissan Stadium. I was there again, live and in person. If you didn't catch it, so when Bayley showed up, everyone thought that was going to be the only appearance at that moment, and then all of a sudden, I think the next one that showed up was Dakota Kai. Yes, Dakota Kai, I believe, was the second person that then hits her music. It hits the Titantron theme, and she comes out to the ring. So now there's two women standing side by side, and then all of a sudden, boom, the Io Sky music hits, and then her theme shows on the Titantron. So then she comes out, all three women standing together on the outside of the ring. Then all of a sudden they join forces, go into the ring, and they went to attack Bianca Belair 3-on-1 as a handicap basically. All of a sudden, Becky Lynch, who was somewhere on the outside of the ring, jumps into the ring and starts saying, basically, if you want some, come get some. And she ends up trying to even the odds a little bit, even though it's still 3-on-2, but she tries to even the odds a little bit. Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch were more than ready to team up. Even though Becky Lynch is a heel, I think she's starting to turn face, because she actually came to the rescue of Bianca Belair and prevented from Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky being able to get the full advantage over Bianca Belair. So Becky Lynch came kind of to the rescue and to the partnership of Bianca Belair. That's what makes me think she's probably going to turn from a heel to a face. Because again, a lot of the women are already a heel, so there's more than enough women to play the bad girl role versus the good girl role. So I think Becky Lynch is going to be switching over soon to the good side. At least that's what it appeared at SummerSlam. So why did I digress into this conversation? Well, because tonight Bianca Belair is going one-on-one against one of the three girls that returned, Io Sky being one of three girls, and we'll see if Bayley's going to end up coming out later on and maybe attack them. But yeah, that was one segment with three surprise appearances, which was directly after a beautiful women's match between Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch. It's like you had a phenomenal women's match for the title. Bianca Belair retained the title. Then you had these three girls in one segment return, try to attack Bianca, and then Becky Lynch gets into the ring to try to even up the odds. And that was just a great SummerSlam intro. Like, that was a great way to start it. You had a great match. It was a fair and square match. Nobody interfered. And then you have a return of three big names in the industry. So that's pretty big. And then from what I heard, prior to Vince retiring, if Vince would have still been on, as the CEO and chairman of WWE, I think he was potentially going to get rid of Dakota Kai and Io Sky. I think that was the direction he was leading into. But Vince retired, and we're now in the era of Triple H, the talent relations, the EVP. He's the new head honcho in the business. So I guess his vision is to keep Io Sky, Dakota Kai, and then not only keep them, but put them in a faction, put them in a group with Bayley, and have Bayley return simultaneously. So it looks like these three girls are going to be in the business long term, and it looks like they're going to be together long term. Match has returned, and Io Sky right now giving Bianca Belair the business over at the turnbuckle. Now she's over here trying to get her into somewhat of a crossface submission. Right now, the momentum has shifted over to Io Sky. Bianca Belair started this match aggressive, releasing her frustration on Io Sky, but now Io Sky is the one with a slight advantage in this match. Now it looks like EST is starting to pick up Io Sky. She might plant her. Oh no, it looks like it's reversed by Io Sky. Io Sky ends up planting EST with a nice little uh, Russian leg sweep. Io Sky goes for a pin. Fortune is just going to be a 2. Now, a cross body to body by Io Sky. Io Sky was actually on the second rope now. Jumps off for a cross body. EST, aka Bianca Belair, ends up catching her and then throws her over her shoulders. Io Sky laid out on the mat. Bianca Belair trying to regain the momentum in this match. Now she lifts her up. Oof. She lifts Io Sky up into the air and drops her flat on her face. Bianca Belair doing a couple of flips across the ring and then does a backflip, which ends up landing midsection to midsection on top of Io Sky, which then goes into a pin. And from there, it's only going to be a 2 count because Io Sky did successfully kick out. Now both girls are back on their feet. Io Sky trying to escape Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair does a suplex to Io, lands her in the center of the ring. Now she's climbing the third rope. And as she's climbing the third rope, of course, as I stated earlier, Bayley is going to not let this be a fair match. Initially, the match started with nobody at ringside, but now Io Sky and Bianca Belair have been joined by Bayley and Dakota Kai. So now it looks like Io Sky has a little bit of a slight unfair advantage because her girls are on the outside of the ring. When the match first started, Dakota Kai and Bayley were not outside showing support, but now the two girls are showing massive support outside of the ring. A Hurricane Rana by Io Sky onto Bianca Belair off of the third rope, and she ends up freaking somersaulting the shit out of Bianca Belair, like absolutely flings her off the third rope with that Hurricane Rana. God damn, a nice Hurricane Rana off the third rope by Io Sky to Bianca Belair. And now she's trying to go for a pin. It gets reversed. Bianca Belair with a nice, huge vertical suplex on Io Sky. And now Dakota Kai and Bayley on the outside of the ring playing cheerleading, hoping that Io Sky can make it. Oh, shit, the KOD may be coming up. Oh, Io Sky ends up reversing out of it. Bianca Belair goes running towards Io Sky. She pulls the third rope down, and Bianca Belair falls onto the outside apron. Now Bianca Belair is trying to get Io Sky suplexed out of the ring, plants her onto the apron feet first, so unsuccessful move. Now she's trying to do a German suplex instead from the apron area to Io Sky. If she does this move, she would absolutely kill this girl. She would land head first and neck first out there. I would not attempt that move, which Io Sky did break it. Oh, shit. Io Sky jumps off the apron, lands onto the shoulders of EST. Oh, god damn. Holy shit. Io Sky getting smacked against the barricade. So, damn, she's laid the fuck out. She looks like she's dead. Io Sky was standing on the top of the apron, and she goes to do a Hurricane Rana to Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair caught her and then slams her head first into the barricade. Now she's trying to throw Io Sky into the ring so that she can go ahead and take advantage. And Bayley and Dakota Kai stand on, sitting on the apron, looking all cute, and they end up telling Bianca Belair, "Hell no, you are not going to throw Io Sky in the ring. You are not going to take advantage after doing that hellacious move of smacking Io Sky head first upside down into the barricade." That was a vicious move by Bianca Belair, by the way. Performed on Io Sky, had her upside down, smacked her whole body, including the head, right into the barricade. And now we've got some outside support coming in by Alexa Bliss and Asuka coming out to support Bianca Belair, saying that Dakota and Bayley are a bunch of chickens. And now it looks like it's going to be an even match now. So now we've got Io Sky and Bianca Belair on the inside of the ring. And then on the outside of the ring, you've got Bayley and Dakota supporting Io Sky. But also, you now have Alexa Bliss and Asuka on the other side of the ring showing support and possible protection for Bianca Belair. So we've got a even 3-on-3 now. It's not a 3-on-3 match, but we've got a even 3-on-3 odds as far as it goes. So now it could be a little bit more of a fair match between Belair and Io Sky. Both women now taking it back to the other side of the ring near the commentator's desk. And Bianca Belair smashes Io Sky's face head first into the commentator's desk. Now she tries to throw her towards the steel steps, and it gets reversed, and Io Sky throws knees first of Bianca Belair onto the steel steps. Bianca's laid out on the ground. Bayley and Dakota Kai doing these chicken wing gestures to Bianca Belair, mocking her now. The women on the outside of the ring are heavily invested in this match just as much as the women on the inside of the ring. it's a big time match here on Raw. A lot of women at ringside. Io Sky and Bianca Belair back into the center of the ring, doing forearm shots to each other, one after the other. Now Bianca Belair gets the advantage of the forearm shots, doing a bunch of punches to the face of Io Sky. Io Sky trying to reverse and break out of it. And she kicks Bianca Belair off of her. Now she starts doing a whole barrage of punches to the face of Bianca Belair. And then she does a huge kick to the abdomen area. Bianca Belair starts to get back up and then lays out Io Sky. The four women at ringside watching attentively. This turned into from a singles match into a almost like a lumberjack match with all these women at ringside watching, making sure there's no outside interference. Oof. Bianca Belair grabs Io Sky by her hair and then flings her into the air, lands her onto the mat while simultaneously yanking her hair as she performs the move. Now she's got Io Sky at the top turnbuckle in the corner, maybe looking for a superplex. Let's see what she gets on this one. Now she's bashing Io Sky on her in the back, hitting her around the upper back in the traps area, around the shoulder blade area, I should say. Punching her, trying to weaken her so that she can potentially get this superplex on her. It looks like it's going to be a superplex is what she's going for. Here we go. Oh, shit. She performs the superplex, but what she does is she keeps herself on the third rope. So she does a superplex where she ends up throwing Io Sky over the third rope onto the mat. I think it's worse when they fling you off the third rope versus both contenders going down on the mat for the superplex. So a modified superplex performed by Bianca Belair, where she ends up flinging Io Sky alone to the mat without performing any damage to herself. So a modified superplex by Bianca Belair onto Io Sky. Try to take advantage, but unfortunately it's just a 2 count. Now she's trying to get a German suplex on Io Sky in the center of the ring. Io Sky trying to hold off, trying to block it after numerous attempts. Ooh, Io Sky rolls Bianca Belair, and then she jumps 2 feet first into the abdomen area of Bianca Belair, and she stomped on her so hard Man, it looks like Bianca Belair is about to lose her lunch. God damn, what a drop down. Two big boots stomping straight into the stomach, abdomen area. God damn, and then she runs two knees face first into Bianca Belair. Holy shit, those knees connected pretty solid. It caught like the chin and neck area. Damn, Io Sky, a sickening thud on the neck and face area across Bianca Belair. Io Sky performing high level tonight. Oh, and she gets planted. Bianca Belair goes for a couple of flips and tries to land the backwards flip onto Io Sky she did earlier. Unfortunately, this time Io Sky able to reverse it in time. She puts her knees up into the air and the knees catch Bianca Belair's stomach. So more impact into the abdomen area, killing Bianca Belair's midsection throughout this match. Io Sky right now taking it to the champ. Io Sky right now, first match back, taking it to the women's champ one-on-one. Bianca Belair goes to run to the ropes. Bayley grabs one of the legs, distracts her momentarily. The referee didn't see it. Io Sky trying to take advantage, but it did not work. Bianca Belair goes for a huge boot to Io Sky, but unfortunately, the kick missed. Io Sky goes for a pin, puts her 2 feet onto the second rope to try to cheat for victory, and Alexa Bliss ends up shoving the 2 feet off of the second rope so that Io Sky cannot cheat and get the victory. And now Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Bayley, Dakota Kai jump into the center of the ring, start attacking each other, and the referee rings the bell. I don't know why he rang the bell though. Nobody attacked Bianca Belair, and nobody attacked Io Sky. So I'm not sure why the bell was rung, but I guess it's just because of the fact that the 4 women on the outside decided to fight each other. So they rang the bell. But usually the bell isn't rung unless the original contenders were attacked, which neither one was attacked because Bianca Belair and Io Sky were not attacked. The 4 set of women attacked each other, but they never attacked the 2 women that were actually wrestling. So that was a little weird that they, rang the bell. But all women right now are now officially attacking each other. It's a 3-on-3 assault. Referees all over the place now trying to stop the madness. Holy shit. And Houston, Texas, chanting for the women. Loving every second of this 3-on-3. Women attacking each other all over the place. Man, oh man. Bayley returns with Dakota Kai and Io Sky at SummerSlam to surprise the fans. Then they show up tonight as a new faction. They take on Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka in 2 different sets of matches. And all of a sudden, Raw is picking up, as Bayley stated, due to their return. So maybe she's actually right. Business is picking up. Now we've got Ciampa in the back having a discussion with The Miz. And The Miz out here with a T-shirt that says, "Hello, my balls are massive." What the fuck? I don't understand what the fuck's going on with The Miz and his conversation of his genitalia, but it's got to stop. Oh, and my boy's in the building. Good old John Moxley says hello. What's going on, John? What else you got here? John says, was totally busy at his job. That is why he was not able to join. No problem, my friend. Says, good evening. Says, any news on Rollins? Yeah, so Seth Rollins, I was actually talking about that earlier. He had a one-on-one match with Montez Ford. Montez Ford loses the match against Seth Rollins. Montez almost gets the victory, though. I'm not going to lie. It was a really good match one-on-one. But Seth Rollins was able to come up with the victory. Riddle is still injured, so Riddle did not show up to attack Seth Rollins. However, at SummerSlam, Seth freaking Rollins did have a short segment with Riddle. Riddle came out to talk smack, says that he's not going to allow Rollins to take advantage of him like that. And he says that he's going to be, definitely returning soon. We don't know what that means and when. Seth Rollins ends up coming out. And when Seth Rollins came out, Seth Rollins ends up attacking Riddle, lays him out. I thought Bray Wyatt maybe he was gonna return at that point, and or maybe even Randy Orton, but no Randy Orton, no Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam. None of them came out to save Riddle. Riddle got his ass kicked again by Seth Rollins, and it wasn't even a match. It wasn't even a one-on-one match. Seth Rollins just came out to beat up on Riddle because Riddle was talking smack. Riddle wasn't even supposed to be at SummerSlam 2 nights ago, but he ends up showing up, surprisingly. And then Riddle ends up, beating him up, plants the finisher on him again, and leaves Riddle laid out on the mat. So they didn't have a singles match yet. Seth Rollins came out and interrupted Riddle when he was talking trash inside of the ring at SummerSlam and ends up attacking him. And then tonight, Riddle did not show up to be able to go ahead and get revenge on Seth Rollins, because Seth Rollins had a match tonight on Raw against Montez Ford from the Street Profits. And Riddle, I thought maybe he might surprise show up, but he did not. So yeah, I guess Riddle is injured for real. So that is a real injury more than likely. I don't think it's storyline, but who knows? You never know. It could be storyline. But yeah, Rollins right now gets the victory. Gets the upper hand, I should say, on Riddle at SummerSlam. He gets the victory tonight on Raw against Montez Ford. So far, Seth Rollins is on a winning streak as far as, the momentum. But yet he hasn't been introduced into any title matches yet because, as you know, the next pay-per-view coming up, I believe, is supposed to be Clash at the Castle. And since Drew McIntyre, earned the number one contendership, he's going to be facing Roman Reigns. He's going to face Roman Reigns, which he's going to face Roman Reigns, but he's going to face him in September. So that's weird. He's going to face him September 4th, I think, or September 3rd. So I'm wondering what WWE is going to have during the month of August, because that means potentially that for an entire month, Roman Reigns is more than likely not going to be defending his title, because he's going to be defending it at the Castle pay-per-view against Drew McIntyre. But that pay-per-view is in September. It's the first weekend of September. So that's a little weird. It's going to be a whole month off for Roman Reigns, I guess, maybe potentially not defending his title for over 30-something days, which is also going to add to his current, reign of history as far as going over 700 days with the title. So, yeah, Seth Rollins probably not going to be in the picture against the Undisputed Championship. That's why I digressed into mentioning that, because Drew McIntyre is the next contender. United States title, he's probably not going to contend for that because if you didn't know, tonight there was a triple threat match with Ciampa, Gable, and Dolph Ziggler. The winner of that match faces AJ Styles, and the winner of that match faces Bobby Lashley for the U.S. title. So Ciampa defeated Dolph Ziggler and Gable. It was a triple threat match. He won. Ciampa won the match. So Ciampa is going to go one-on-one against AJ Styles later on tonight. And then the winner of Ciampa and AJ Styles is going to be the qualified number one contender for the United States champion. Bobby Lashley retained his title at SummerSlam, in case you didn't already know that. And so the winner of AJ Styles and Ciampa tonight will then face Bobby Lashley for his title somewhere down the line, because Austin Theory lost against Bobby Lashley. So AJ Styles, Austin Theory, he lost the one-on-one against Bobby Lashley. So Austin Theory has no U.S. title. He also he doesn't have any of the heavyweight titles, because he tried to cash in the Money in the Bank during the Roman's Reign match, but unfortunately that got blocked off. But he got attacked by, I believe it was Brock Lesnar. And then from there, he got laid out. So once he got laid out, he couldn't officially cash in the Money in the Bank. So I'm assuming he still has the Money in the Bank on his side. So that's a little bit of a recap between Seth Rollins, the championship divisions, and also a recap, a little bit of Raw. So I still don't understand what they're going to do with Rollins, because even though he's been having a good win streak, right? He won tonight against Montez. He took out Riddle at SummerSlam. He took out Riddle on Raw. He's also been winning a couple of his recent matches. So I'm wondering what direction are they going to head in with Seth Rollins, because even though he's winning and he's getting the upper hand on a lot of guys, pause, no pun intended, for some reason he is still not yet within that title atmosphere or conversation. All right, John Moxley says, sad man, he's been booked as a main Carter for quite long. Triple H is not bringing any change as well. Well, I would say that Triple H is bringing some kind of change, but he's not bringing the change that we're looking for. The change that we're potentially looking for, me and you specifically, because I know me and you talk about this all the time. We're hoping that Triple H, that era, will somehow, some way, bring Seth Rollins into the picture as far as the heavyweight division is concerned, or even for the United States Championship is concerned. Somewhere in the degree of getting him back into important matches, like more important matches. So for now, I would say I agree with you. Yeah, he hasn't changed anything, at least on the Seth Rollins conversation, but he did bring back in at least Edge. Edge came back and attacked Judgment Day and cost them their match at SummerSlam. And he also did bring back Bayley, which was a big surprise. And he also did bring back Io Sky and Dakota Kai, which Io Sky and Dakota Kai were reportedly going to be released by WWE when Vince was still around. But as you know, Vince is retired. So I guess Triple H is changing that women's division around and mixing it up a little bit by keeping Io Sky and Dakota Kai still involved. And he partnered those two women up with Bayley. So now you have a new faction. So that's cool. A new group, a new faction, a new set of women teaming up to go up against other women. So, we did get a little bit of something different. You've got those three women returning and they joined forces. You've got potentially Becky Lynch going from a heel to a face, because Becky, she did try to help Bianca Belair when Bianca Belair was about to get jumped by Bayley, Dakota, and Io Sky. So potentially Becky Lynch is going to be a good girl now. She's going to be a face instead of a heel. So that's probably changing. You got Edge returned as a surprise appearance, took out Judgment Day. Then he came out earlier tonight on Raw and stated that he's going to continue his revenge against Judgment Day, which means that we'll see more of Edge, which also means that Edge was just not showing up for SummerSlam, but he's probably going to be here a little bit more for long term. So there is a couple of surprises and things that happen, but as far as Bray Wyatt's concerned, he didn't return. That kind of sucked. And then, of course, Seth Rollins, now he's not losing matches anymore, which is a good thing. He's actually winning matches and getting the upper hand against opponents. But the part that sucks is that he still is not being put in the championship picture. That's what I think sucks, that part. So right now, the number one contendership qualifier is on the line. Ciampa had a pre-qualifier earlier in the evening. He had to have a triple threat match. He was able to win that triple threat match against Dolph Ziggler and Gable. So now the match that we're seeing on Raw currently is Ciampa going one-on-one against AJ Styles. So he had a pre-qualifier. Now this is the main qualifier for the number one contendership. So whoever wins this match will be the official number one contender to face Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship. Now, I don't think that title is going to be defended tonight because there's not enough time on Raw to defend it tonight. However, whoever wins this match will no longer have to, go through any more qualifying matches, and they will be the number one contender for the title. I almost think that Ciampa is going to win this match tonight against AJ Styles because for some reason, Ciampa's been getting hyped up more by The Miz. The Miz is actually at ringside right now as we speak, supporting Ciampa. But earlier in the evening, Ciampa was not being supported by The Miz. Like, The Miz was not at ringside during the triple threat match that Ciampa had earlier tonight. Ciampa faced Gable and Dolph Ziggler for a pre-qualifier. And in the pre-qualifier match, The Miz wasn't out there. So I was very surprised he wasn't out there because in triple threat matches, there's typically not a disqualification, so someone can interfere. The Miz wasn't out there. However, The Miz is out here for the one-on-one match of Ciampa versus AJ Styles, which is weird that he's out there because if he causes any interference and he gets caught doing interference in this match, he can cause Ciampa to lose the opportunity for number one contendership. So it's a little bit backwards the way Miz has showed his support tonight for Ciampa, but nonetheless, we've got the one-on-one match on the way. God damn, AJ Styles gets thrown by Ciampa shoulder first into the ring post, the bottom part, the middle part of the ring post. Technically the middle, technically the bottom. It's the middle of the ring post, but he shoved him through the ring post, through the mat, and the shoulder smacks the shit out of the ring post. And then AJ Styles immediately starts grabbing his shoulder. Looks like that was a big fucking hit. And then Ciampa goes to the outside of the ring and does a flying knee that catches the whole face of AJ Styles. So AJ Styles catching a lot of high impact moves by Ciampa. Ciampa out here with a huge fucking kick to the face of AJ Styles, and the boot actually connected across the kisser. God damn, Ciampa out here wrestling AJ Styles like he hates this man in real life. Holy shit. Ciampa right now having complete control of this match against AJ Styles. Now AJ Styles catches Ciampa, plants Ciampa face first into the mat, and then Ciampa rolls out of the ring. Ciampa tries to get some help from the Miz, telling him to check his eye, make sure his eye is okay. AJ Styles runs to the outside, chasing Ciampa. Both men back into the ring, and then AJ Styles plants a huge drop kick to the face of Ciampa, and Ciampa rolls to the outside of the ring. Now AJ Styles leaps over the third rope and lands on top of the face of Ciampa. The Miz comes out to try to check, see if Ciampa's okay, but AJ Styles prevents him from being able to be any type of outside interference and scares the Miz off to the other part of the ring. Now we're on a quick commercial break. Holy shit. Is Ciampa going to win this match tonight? Is Ciampa going to be the number one contender? And is the WWE planning on possibly making Bobby Lashley lose his title to Ciampa for the United States Championship? Again, that title will not be on the line tonight. I'm just talking in the future, because if Ciampa wins tonight, he no longer has to face anybody else for the number one contendership. This is the official number one contendership. He had his pre-qualifier match earlier for the triple threat. Now he's having his official qualifier match for the number one contendership against AJ Styles. So it's I don't know. It looks like Ciampa's starting to get a bit of a push, and it looks like the Miz starting to be more of a push in the sense of being kind of more like a outside supporting cast for a lot of different wrestlers. First he was assisting Logan, then of course they went heads up at SummerSlam. Logan had a great match. That was one of the guys that the Miz was coaching, you could say, or mentoring, and then now you have kind of some mentorship and coaching going on, towards Ciampa by the Miz. So I don't know, is the Miz potentially gonna stop wrestling and maybe shift over to being more like a Paul Heyman kind of character, where he's out there supporting other wrestlers and creating outside interferences, etc. Whereas Miz gonna be kind of simultaneously doing that plus still wrestling. I don't know, maybe Miz is shifting over into becoming more of a mentor and a coach and a leader versus being a wrestler. So it's a very interesting dynamic that they have for the Miz here tonight, being the supporting cast and kind of being the leadership of Ciampa in his number one contender qualifier match. So currently it's still on commercial break. As soon as that returns, we'll go ahead and give some more updates. Let me see if there's any other comments here that might have been dropped. And it looks like John Moxley did drop a couple of more comments. Let's see what we've got here. I think I've already read this one. Yep, he did. All right, so this one here says, bro, Becky is injured. She's suffering dislocated shoulder from SummerSlam. Good call out on that one, my friend, Mr. John Moxley. Yes, so that was another thing that I was going to cover on the SummerSlam recap. In case, I know you came in a little bit late, so because you had to work, so understandable. I am going to probably do a SummerSlam recap because if you, I don't know if you remember, but I actually went to SummerSlam live and in person. I drove from Florida to Tennessee, which is about a 10 or 11 hour drive. It's a long drive, very exhausting drive. But I did go to SummerSlam live in person. I had floor seats, and I did take a few videos and pictures and stuff. So when I get the opportunity, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do a SummerSlam recap, just explaining my experience, how everything was in Nashville, maybe explaining a couple of the matches, what occurred, my take on the matches, my opinion on those matches. And so I may do that sometime this week, a SummerSlam recap. So in case if you were wondering why, I didn't do the SummerSlam live stream this Saturday, that is the reason why I didn't host a live stream for it. It's because I was in Nashville, Tennessee, live and in person, floor seats, watching SummerSlam right there, in action live. So that's why I was unable to do a live stream. So I will do a recap of it, give my opinions on the matches, and maybe show a couple of photos and videos. I also got to meet Liv Morgan in person. I did a meet and greet, met Liv Morgan in person, was able to take a photo with her. So that was pretty new and exciting. Never met Liv Morgan before. I can tell you this, Liv Morgan is absolutely gorgeous. If you think she's beautiful in pictures and videos, when you see her in person, I mean, she's even more beautiful in person, if that's even possible, but it is. All right, the match is back. Got Ciampa and AJ Styles back into the middle of the ring. When we left, they were on the outside of the ring. Looks like momentum is starting to shift over in favor of AJ Styles. AJ Styles runs over towards Ciampa and lands a fist to the face over at the turnbuckle. Then he drops Ciampa's head onto the knee, plants Ciampa to the ground, tries to go for a pin, and it's just going to be a 2 count. And AJ Styles, looking at the ref, surprised and in disgust, believing that it should have been a 3 count, but unfortunately it's not. Also, by the way, tonight, a special guest commentator, Booker T, showed up to give his live one-on-one feedback, or I should say live commentary feedback here on Raw. Booker T joined in the commentary desk alongside with Braxton, Graves, and I forgot the other guy's name. But yeah, he's joining the commentaries table, giving live commentary updates of the match. Ooh, and as we speak, Ciampa leaps over the neck area and lands on top of the back of the neck of AJ Styles with his 2 legs. He leaps into the air and both of his legs grab the back neck of AJ Styles and simultaneously brings him down to the mat, planting AJ Styles face first, then goes for a 3 count. But unfortunately, AJ Styles kicks out, so it's just going to be a 2 count fall on this one. Ciampa goes for another running knee to the face of AJ. AJ ends up getting out the way, pulls Ciampa up upside down. Unfortunately, AJ not able to plant his finisher. Ciampa kicks out of that. Ooh, a big boot to the face by AJ Styles to the face of Ciampa, and then a vertical suplex by AJ Styles to Ciampa across the third turnbuckle, where Ciampa ends up landing on his neck or possible head area. Oof. Damn, that looked like that was not a good landing. Imagine he did a vertical suplex, but instead of doing it on the mat, he ends up landing a vertical suplex on the turnbuckles, which ends up planting Ciampa literally on his head and neck. Ciampa looking a little bit dizzy and lackadaisical. I wonder if that move planted severely enough for Ciampa to be completely out of it. But AJ goes running towards Ciampa on the other turnbuckle. Ciampa throws him over the third rope. AJ lands on the apron. AJ going flying over the third rope for the phenomenal forearm, but he misses, and Ciampa ends up catching AJ in the air with a knee to the face. AJ about to be out. Nope, Ciampa ends up getting only a 2 count. Holy shit. And then Ciampa plants AJ Styles. He throws him up in the air, and AJ's body on the way down, his lower back lands onto the knees of Ciampa. What kind of fucking move was that? God damn. Ciampa uses his knees for every fucking move almost that he performs. God damn. First, he catches AJ Styles with a knee. When AJ Styles is jumping off the third rope, AJ's face lands on the flying knee. Like, think about this. AJ is in the air flying. Ciampa goes flying in the air, and AJ's face meets the knee. And then after that, Ciampa performs a move where he throws AJ up into the air in the center of the ring. And as AJ is flying down backwards, the 2 knees go into the lower back of AJ Styles. God damn. Ciampa out here taking it to AJ Styles. AJ may be the phenomenal one, but Ciampa tonight is the one that's looking pretty damn phenomenal. Ciampa might be moving up in the rankings. I think WWE sees Ciampa as pure talent. I think he's going to be possibly winning this match tonight for the number 1 contendership. Then he's over here assaulting AJ Styles on the third turnbuckle. AJ Styles now trying to reverse. Oh, shit. Ciampa. Oh, shit. AJ Styles ends up planting Ciampa with the finisher. 1, 2. Oh, and The Miz. The Miz tells the ref there's a leg on the rope. Ciampa didn't even move his leg. Ciampa has been planted out. He caught the finisher by AJ Styles, did not kick out. However, the Miz ends up putting the leg of Ciampa onto the lower rope. Referee did not see the Miz helping. The Miz ends up telling the referee, hey, man, leg on the rope, and the referee stops the 3 count. Oh, and now the Miz getting attacked by AJ Styles on the outside. Oh, but Ciampa gets up quickly and then goes to the outside and throws AJ Styles face first into the ring post and then throws him over the barricade as well. Holy shit. And now Ciampa trying to get a win by a 10 count. He throws AJ Styles over the barricade near the fans after bashing AJ Styles' face into the ring post. AJ Styles trying to quickly get up. Oh shit. The setup, AJ Styles is trying to get over the barricade, but the Miz is holding the leg of AJ Styles. The referee can't see it. Oh shit, but it was almost a count out. AJ Styles gets into the ring on time. Oh, but he catches a huge knee to the face again by Ciampa. Then Ciampa plants the finisher right after getting the knee into the face of AJ Styles. And holy shit, Ciampa gets the 1, 2, 3 pinfall. The Miz absolutely helping with a huge distraction, almost causing AJ Styles to get counted out. AJ Styles ends up trying to run back into the ring, successfully prevents the 10 count, but then catches a massive knee to the face by Ciampa. Then Ciampa lifts him up, plants the finisher on him. AJ Styles is done, and AJ Styles loses the match against Ciampa. Just too many knees to the face, too many moves performed by Ciampa, and too many distractions by The Miz. AJ Styles unsuccessful, gets the big L. Ciampa gets the big W, and Ciampa is your official #1 contender for the United States Championship. And it has been announced that Ciampa will face Bobby Lashley one-on-one next week on Raw. So the United States Championship will be on the line next week on Raw. You heard it here first. Next week on Raw, U.S. titles on the line. What an incredible match. Ciampa, complete momentum on Raw tonight, winning a triple threat match earlier against Gable and Ziggler, and then wins his match tonight against the phenomenal AJ Styles, beating pretty solid competition. 2 matches. He gets 2 Ws tonight. Ciampa, the #1 contender, well-deserved. He'll be facing Bobby Lashley next week against the United States title. Now, the only thing that I can say is this. If they're doing it on Raw, I almost wonder if this is going to be the end of Bobby Lashley's reign with the United States title, because it usually these kind of titles are not commonly put on Raw as far as being defended. So is Bobby Lashley's reign with the U.S. title going to be over? We will find out soon enough. Bobby Lashley's being interviewed right now backstage, and he says that he will face anyone, anytime for this title. So he says he has no problem facing Ciampa next week on Raw. He's ready for him. But will he be victorious and will he retain the title is the real question. Coming up next, it looks like the Mysterios are coming out in just a moment. I believe it should be for a tag team match. And let me see. And I think later on tonight, so later on tonight, that's right. That is something that I had previously announced. The Mysterios going up against the Usos. Oh, hold up. That's actually going to be next. And that's going to be, I think, for the tag team titles. Holy shit. So you mean to tell me the Usos successfully defended their titles at SummerSlam and now have to successfully defend it on Raw? I did not know that that was for a title match. I thought that was going to be a regular tag team match, the Mysterios versus the Usos. Apparently, it looks like they're saying it's for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships. So the Usos, after having to defend their titles against Street Profits only 2 days ago at SummerSlam in the Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee, they now have to defend their titles tonight in Houston, Texas against the Mysterios. Holy shit. Did not expect that one. That's new. I've never seen champs, at least not tag team champs or heavyweight champs, have to defend their title, 2 days after a pay per view. It's kind of different. Hopefully, that doesn't mean that the Mysterios are going to win tonight. That would suck if the tag team champs lose their titles tonight after successfully defending them against the Street Profits, at SummerSlam. So it looks like title match is coming up next. Let me go ahead and check the comments really quick because it looks like we are on a commercial break. So I don't want to overlook the comments. John Moxley says, "Wow, bro." He says, "Congrats." Oh, okay. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I was at SummerSlam. Yeah, man. It was great pay per view. It was a lot of fun, but it was also a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie, just getting there, finding the parking, and all that good stuff. But luckily, I was able to go ahead and get everything done quickly and early. Also, I had bought one of the bloodline. They had these foam fingers. The foam finger says bloodline. It says we the ones, I think, on it. And me and my cousin had that, and we were one of the very few people, I guess, at the pay per view that wanted Roman Reigns and the Usos to retain. A lot of the fans there thought that the Street Profits were going to win the tag team titles, and a lot of the fans were cheering on Brock Lesnar to win the titles. So I guess a lot of people were hoping for a different outcome, and unfortunately, not the case. Well, I should say, fortunately, not the case because the Bloodline all retained their titles. The Usos retained their undisputed tag titles, and Roman Reigns was able to successfully defend and retain his undisputed title against Brock Lesnar. A lot of fans were very disappointed. I can tell you that much. Also, a lot of fans were disappointed that Ronda Rousey lost to Liv Morgan. I wasn't. I was actually very happy Liv Morgan won, regardless of the fact of if people agree or disagree with how Liv Morgan won the match. I would say that I still enjoyed the victory nonetheless. So yeah, it was a very interesting pay per view, my friend. A very interesting pay per view, a very good pay per view, and I think that SummerSlam, I'd give it about a 7.5 or 8 out of 10. I'd rate it pretty high, and I don't usually rate pay per views high. I don't usually rate Raws or SmackDowns pretty high, because WWE, of course, they start something good, as you know, and then they ruin the content along the way. But I would say SummerSlam was a pretty successful pay per view. Really good content, really good surprise appearances, really great matches. Um, Fans, of course, were on their feet almost the entire pay per view. A lot of holy shit moments, like holy shit, and also this is awesome. So yeah, I'll talk more about that when I do the SummerSlam recap. But yeah, SummerSlam, really, really good pay per view, man. For those that got to go, it was definitely well worth every penny, every dollar spent. It definitely went above and beyond compared to a lot of pay per views in recent months or even recent years. Um, but WWE's content has been getting better leading into this year. They've had some good pay per views last year, but this year they've really been picking it up. Like Money in the Bank was really good. Um, WrestleMania was pretty good. This year's SummerSlam was phenomenal. So WWE, they've been doing a lot of right things, so I can't complain too much. They've done a couple of wrong things here and there that I still think needs to be fixed up. For example, as we always talk about here, Seth Rollins needs to be in the heavyweight picture for the titles, or at least minimum for the United States title. But yeah, with that being said, I still like a lot of the stuff that they're starting to do with certain wrestlers. So the content is improving pretty significantly. Well, guys, it is now 10:36 p.m. Eastern time. So I'm going to assume that based on the fact that there's only about 20 something minutes to go for Raw to be done, considering that the undisputed tag team titles are the next match, I'm assuming this is also going to be the very last match. So we will see how this plays out with the Mysterios in the tag team match taking on the Usos. And it looks like it is supposed to be scheduled for the undisputed tag team titles. And again, like I said, I'm surprised because the Usos just successfully retained their titles against Street Profits, which, by the way, against the Street Profits, they actually did win that match fair and square to my recollection. I know it was only 2 days ago, but man, sometimes my memory is just like so short termed that sometimes I can't even remember. But yeah, I believe nobody interfered in that match. The Usos successfully uh, retained their titles at SummerSlam, which is surprising that they have to defend them here tonight on Raw. That is very surprising. But nonetheless, it's all good. Rey Mysterio and Dominic entering the ring right now. Rey Mysterio noticed that there was 2 fans on the outside of the ring with his mask on, so he goes to give the fans a little bit of props. Give them a little bit of TV time, a little bit of love. No pun intended. And Mysterios are now inside of the ring on the second rope turnbuckle, getting a nice little ovation by the fans. And in a moment, we'll see the Usos from the bloodline show up in just a moment as well to get this match on the way. Rey Mysterio hyping up his son Dominic. Both guys ready to get it on. And now, we the ones, the Usos from the bloodline, coming out to the ring to defend their titles. They mentioned that the Usos started their tag team championship reign in July 18, I believe, of 2021, which means that the Usos officially have had the titles for over 365 days, so over 1 year mark, as of about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so about 2 weeks ago they hit their 1 year anniversary. So the Usos have had the titles for at least about, if we're counting on days, they've had the titles for at least about 379, almost 380 days, roughly. Long tag team championship reign. That might be the record. I know that Roman Reigns has the record for the heavyweight titles, but I'm wondering if the Usos also have the how would you call it? Also have the reign for the tag team championships. I believe they do, because I don't know if anybody has held the tag team titles, whether it's past, present, or future, as far as having it for over a year. I think the Usos have the longest reign, and they will more than likely continue to have the longest reign, because no one has defeated them yet. However, everything could change if they happen to lose tonight against the Mysterios. That's a big if, but if they lose tonight, their tag team titles, that reign will come to an end. And it looks like, yep, they did confirm that the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships are officially on the line tonight. Again, at 2 days after SummerSlam, after being successfully defended by the Usos. I'm tremendously surprised that they would already be defending the titles against the Mysterios on Raw. This potentially could have been like a nice little pay-per-view match. I don't know why they put in this on Raw, to be honest. Not that I'm not excited to watch it, but very surprised that the Mysterios would get their title shot on Raw 2 days after SummerSlam. It's a little bit of a bizarro way to end Raw tonight, but here we go. And you got Jimmy and Jay in the ring giving each other a whole lot of hype. Jay Uso hyping up his brother Jimmy Uso, telling them, we're here, we're the champs, we're leaving as the champs. Basically telling them we're the best, we're not losing this tonight. So let's see. Ooh, and they show this nice little undisputed tag team championship logo, and they it looks like they had cemented the blue and the red together. That'd be dope if they actually did that in real life, where they combined the two titles and made it like half blue, half red, the way they did on the CGI logo. That'd be pretty dope. However, I like the titles separated because it looks cooler with both guys having two titles. It's a lot more gold to show off. Anyways, the match has officially started. Rey Mysterio trying to get advantage over, is this Jimmy? No, this is Jey Uso. Jey throws Rey Mysterio under the first rope, sliding outside, but Rey Mysterio did not get any impact. He actually reversed it. Now he tags in his son Dominic. Both Usos are on the outside of the ring standing up, and Dominic lands body to body, crossbody impact against both Usos. Both Jimmy and Jay have been laid out on the outside of the ring. Dominic now the legal man, and Rey Mysterio back on the apron. Oh, but it looks like Dominic tags his dad, Rey Mysterio, back into the ring. Rey goes to the outside. grabs onto Jey Uso, throws him into the ring, then jumps over the third rope from the apron and plants a leg drop, a Hulk Hogan style like leg drop on top of the face of Jey Uso. And now the action is back in the ring. Jey over in the corner, Rey Mysterio planting a couple of shoulder hits into the abdomen area of Jey Uso, now planting a series of punches across the face of Jey Uso. Rey Mysterio doing the old school Eddie Guerrero shoulder taunt. Rey Mysterio now leaps to the third rope. Ooh, and Jey Uso kicks the third turnbuckle, which ends up dropping Rey Mysterio on his back. One leg gets stuck on the rope, so he's hanging upside down. And now Jey Uso attacking the chest and abdomen area of Rey Mysterio. Jimmy gets tagged in, and a huge stomp onto the arm of Rey Mysterio by Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso, now the legal man, going one-on-one in the center of the ring with Rey Mysterio, while Dominic is on the outside of the apron, and Jey now on the outside as well. And now Jimmy Uso grabbing onto the trap and shoulder area of Rey Mysterio, trying to cause pain to the upper body area. And then as Jimmy is distracting the referee, his brother Jey Uso kicks Rey Mysterio across the face. Referee did not see it coming. Referee was distracted. Now a wishbone. Oof. A wishbone to rip the legs apart of Rey Mysterio, potentially ripping the groin area. God damn. And now the official guy is Jey Uso, tagged back into the ring. A nasty wishbone move. I don't remember the last time I've seen somebody perform a wishbone, but that move, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't even want to rehearse doing that move, let alone someone fucking doing that shit to me on live TV. That shit's got to hurt. I don't care how much you fake that. All right. Jey Uso was attacking Rey Mysterio momentarily on the side turnbuckle. He tags in his brother Jimmy. And it looks like they did another wishbone on Rey Mysterio, bro. They're really trying to rip his balls in half. Pause, no pun intended. But shit, 2 wishbones in one match, bro. It's like, bro, relax. Good thing Rey Mysterio already had his kids, because if he didn't, this the way they keep giving him that wishbone move, he'd be at risk and at jeopardy of not having any kids in the future. He's already had his kids, so I guess he can afford to put his sack on the line. No pun intended. Now Rey Mysterio trying to attack Jimmy and Jey simultaneously. He gets shoved into the second rope, leaps off, and then gets smacked by Jimmy. Jimmy going for the pin, but it's just going to be a 2 count. Ooh, and a huge Ric Flair style chop across the chest of Rey Mysterio by Jimmy Uso. Now Jimmy throws Rey across the ring to the other turnbuckle. Rey chest first into the turnbuckle after catching that huge chop in the chest, and then bounces right off and lands onto the mat. I really hope the Mysterios do not win. As much as I support Rey Mysterio, I definitely don't want them dethroning the current champs. By the way, no Roman Reigns at ringside. No Roman Reigns to escort them to the ring. Also, Roman Reigns did not interfere in their match at SummerSlam. They won and retained their titles fair and square. So we'll see if no Roman Reigns to interfere in this match tonight. And also no Paul Heyman. So no Paul Heyman to assist the Usos, even though the Usos did assist Roman Reigns to retain his undisputed WWE Heavyweight Championship titles. The Usos did not get any help from Roman Reigns to retain their titles. So Roman Reigns got help in his match, but the Usos did not get help in their match at SummerSlam. And then to continue that tonight, no Paul Heyman and no Roman Reigns at ringside to help the Usos. So Usos looking to defend their tag team titles 2 nights on 2 shows on SummerSlam and Raw tonight without any outside interference or any assistance by Paul Heyman and without any Roman Reigns getting involved. So Usos looking to do the victory again tonight and retain their titles fair and square. Oof. And then Jey Uso goes flying towards the turnbuckle where Rey Mysterio was sitting down, butt cheeks to the face of Rey Mysterio, no pun intended. Then he goes for the pin, and it's going to be just a 2 count. And now he tags in his brother again, Jimmy Uso. And Dominic right now needs to tag in because his father, Rey Mysterio, is being laid out all over the ring. Rey Mysterio trying to get out of the turnbuckle, trying to get out the corner. A kick and a punch to Jimmy Uso. Ooh, then he grabs Jimmy Uso by the neck with his 2 feet and flings Jimmy Uso through the second rope, and Jimmy lands his shoulder into the ring post. And Rey Mysterio leaps over for the tag and catches Dominic. Dominic from the third rope, across body from the third, lands onto Jimmy. Both guys back on their feet. Oof. And a couple of clotheslines by Dominic onto Jimmy. Jay tries to run in to create interference. A neck breaker on Jey Uso. Oof. And then another neck breaker, this time on Jimmy Uso. Dominic going for the pin. Oh, and it's just a 2 count fall. Momentum now shifting over to the Mysterios, courtesy of Dominic. Ooh, but then Dominic catches a chop to the face by Jimmy Uso. Almost like a cane type of chop across the face of Dominic by Jimmy. But then Dominic goes and plants Jimmy onto the mat. Now he drop kicks him, going for the 619. Oh, Dominic ends up getting caught in the ropes with backside because Jimmy ends up getting out of the way. Dominic goes over the third rope, almost lands on the apron, almost ends up hurting himself. Both of the Usos end up catching Dominic in the air, and then Dominic goes and gets slapped into the ring post. They slam his back into the ring post, lower back area, upper buttocks area. Pause, no pun intended. And the Usos, proud of themselves, laying waste, taking Dominic out with the use of the ring post. And now Dominic still on the ground. Rey Mysterio looking attentively from far away, trying to see if Dominic is okay. And the Usos, proud of themselves of the damage that they caused onto the lower back area of Dominic. Absolute aggression in this match by the Usos to stop the momentum of Dominic, and now to regain the momentum to start beating Dominic the way they beat Rey Mysterio throughout this match. Let me double check, see if there's any new comments here. I don't think that there is. All right, actually, as I was reading the comments, it looks like John Moxley did add a few more comments here. John Moxley says, I think tonight Dominic will turn on Rey. And he also says, it's main event, brother, something will happen. To be honest, I think that you might be right. I thought they were actually going to do it sooner. I thought they were going to have Rey Mysterio have his back turned against Dominic, and Dominic was going to attack Rey Mysterio at what was it, Raw last week? Yeah, for Raw last week. I thought that's when it was going to happen because it was the big 20th anniversary, right? The Judgment Day had beat the shit out of Rey Mysterio throughout the evening. And also, they've been trying to draft Dominic into Judgment Day for a while. So I thought maybe it was going to be last week or maybe the week before that. They still haven't done it yet. So we'll see if Dominic turns his back on his dad. I don't know if it's going to happen tonight, but we'll see. That's your prediction. Maybe you might be right. We'll double check. Let's see how this main event turns out. If they lose, maybe Dominic will turn his back. Dominic over here trying to reach for the tag, and the Usos just towing Rey, allowing Dominic to stretch for the tag, but not actually get the tag. Now the Usos continue the massive onslaught and all the momentum on their side, continuing to beat up Dominic. Jey Uso super proud of himself. Every time they show the camera on Jey Uso and he's in the ring, he's constantly showboating, talking smack. Super proud of himself. Super proud of the Usos. Super proud of the bloodline. For reasons, of course, that he's proven. But you can tell that Jey Uso has gotten even more and more cockier as far as mentally cockier, no pun intended, as far as his belief in the bloodline, his belief in the Usos, his belief of them having the titles, his belief of them continuing the title reign. A lot of showboating, a lot of smack talk today by Jey Uso inside and outside of the ring. Jimmy Uso now is back in the ring. Couple of chops across the face of Dominic. Dominic trying to rally himself, trying to hopefully get his father tagged back into the match. Jon Moxley states that there's a possibility that Rey Mysterio may get his back turned by his own son, by his bloodline Dominic. We have been stating that that may potentially happen. Don't know if it's going to happen tonight, but let's see how the cards unfold, how the cards get dealt out on this one. Dominic's now on the third rope at the turnbuckle. Jimmy right now trying to lift up Dominic. I don't know if he's trying to go for a Samoan drop on this one. Dominic ends up breaking that up. And then he leaps off the third rope and plants a tornado DDT onto the dome of Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso now looking a little bit lackadaisical, looking to tag his brother Jey Uso. Jey Uso's ready for the tag. Rey Mysterio also leaping, ready for the tag. Oh, and it's a double tag. Dominic gets tagged in. Dominic tags Rey, and Jimmy tags Jey Uso. Jey Uso completely gets planted by Rey Mysterio. A Hurricane Rana is landed on him. Rey Mysterio takes out Jimmy Uso, who was on the outside trying to get back in. Then he kicks Jey Uso across the dome on the outside of the apron, leaps over the third rope, lands on top of Jey Uso. Then from there, he tries to plant another aerial move onto Jey Uso. Jey Uso, a huge kick that smacks across, I believe, the abdomen area when Rey Mysterio was mid-air. Let me double check this one. Rey Mysterio tried to perform a high-risk move off the second rope. And yeah, it looks like actually caught about a super kick. It looked like it was a mix of either a super kick or almost like a roundhouse kick straight to the stomach of Rey Mysterio as Rey was coming down from the air after he leaped off the second rope. A terrible way to catch a kick. There's no great way to catch a kick, but that's definitely the worst way that you can catch a kick is on the way down. Both Usos now in the ring trying to do a double team on Rey. Rey ends up getting a Hurricane Run on Jey Uso. Jey Uso flies out. Then Jimmy Uso catches the Itaguri by Rey Mysterio. They tag in Dominic. A double 619 to the face of Jimmy Uso. A frog splash by Dominic. 1, 2. Oh, shit. Just a 2. That was so close. Somehow Jey Uso leaps in. Jey Uso was way on the far outside of the ring. I have no idea how he made it in time into the ring. It really looked like Dominic was about to get the victory. There was no Jey Uso in sight. It was a fast 2 count as well. It was like 1, 2, and the 3 was literally right there. And not somehow Jey Uso flew into the ring and breaks the 3 count. God damn. Mysterio still unable to get the victory. Now Rey Mysterio into the ring trying to take care of Jey Uso. Jey Uso and Rey end up on the outside, and Jey Uso, a huge super kick that plants Rey Mysterio and knocks his ass on the floor on the outside of the ring. Then Dominic comes flying through the second ropes and lands on top of Jey Uso. Jey Uso is laid out. Dominic gets onto the third ropes trying to attack Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso sees it coming and stops Dominic on the top turnbuckle, planting a couple of punches across his face. And now we're gonna see will Jimmy perform the third rope performance as he was trying to do earlier that Dominic had blocked. I don't think Dominic's gonna block this one. It's a superplex coming. Holy shit! Both men with both feet on the third rope and on the ring post. Come on, get this. Come on, Jimmy, get this superplex. Oh, wait, hold up. Dominic reversing it. Dominic has his 2 feet on the ring post. Jimmy has his 2 feet on the third rope. Dominic ends up dropping Jimmy onto the mat. He leaps across, but Jimmy sees it coming. But then Dominic ends up trying to set up a 619 to Jimmy. Jey Uso gets tagged in. Oh, shit. And they perform a 3D. They perform a 3D finisher, 3D type, 3D-esque finisher onto Dominic. And nowhere to be found is Rey Mysterio, still knocked out earlier from Jey Uso's super kick on the outside of the ring. The referee runs in with all the titles. Jey Uso, looking like a big shot, grabs all 4 of the tag team titles. Bro, it's crazy. I've never seen somebody carry 4 titles at once. Jey Uso looking like Mr. Super Cool, carrying all 4 tag team titles, then carrying his brother and grabbing everybody out of the ring, grabbing his brother and all 4 titles outside of the ring. Jey Uso out here. Jey Uso definitely looking like the more dominant Uso brother. Oh, shit. And then Judgment Day comes out to attack Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, all 3 attacking Dominic and Rey. Rhea Ripley has her beautiful legs wrapped around the neck area of Dominic, choking him out in the turnbuckle. God damn, I wouldn't mind being choked out by Rhea Ripley like this. I'd say Dominic is pretty lucky out here getting choked by the beautiful legs of Rhea Ripley. I would not mind getting choked out by the legs of Rhea Ripley. Oh shit, but now Edge coming out to even the odds. Rhea Ripley runs out of the ring. Edge takes out Finn Balor. Now he's attacking Damian Priest. A clothesline to Damian Priest. Finn Balor runs back into the ring. He catches aerial DDT by Edge. Edge laying out Finn Balor and Damian Priest, evening up the competition. And now Edge looking like he's going to get a spear on Finn Balor, taunting for it. The fans are chanting for it. Oh, shit. And Rhea Ripley ends up shoving Dominic into the fucking spear. Holy shit, dude. No one's seen that coming. Holy shit. Rhea Ripley saw that Edge was about to perform the spear, and when Edge went to perform the spear, Dominic gets shoved by Rhea Ripley into Edge's spear, and Dominic gets laid out. God damn. What a turn of events. Holy shit. They're showing the recap now. Edge takes out Finn Balor first. Then he performs a clothesline out to Damian Priest, which throws Priest out of the ring. Then he catches a DDT on Finn Balor. Then he tries to do a spear to Finn Balor. And Rhea Ripley could not keep her composure. Shoves Dominic into the way. Dominic ends up catching the spear by Edge. And Edge looking surprised. And then he ends up chasing after Damian Priest and Finn Balor to where the fans are located. Chases them to the outside of the ring. And then, unfortunately, no one there to be there for Dominic. And then Rey Mysterio shows up last minute, trying to see if Dominic's okay. Dominic's still grabbing onto his stomach. Rey Mysterio trying to see if his son is going to be able to get up from the pain. And that's going to end Raw tonight for August 1st, 2022. Unbelievable. I wonder if this could segue into Edge possibly rejoining the Judgment Day team, the Judgment Day faction. I wonder if he's going to join that group again, because this is very weird. I mean, yeah, granted, he did attack Damian Priest. He did lay him out, and then he gave, the DDT to Finn Balor, and then he did try to give Finn Balor the spear. But Rhea Ripley ends up throwing Dominic into the spear, saving Finn Balor from the spear. She literally shoved Dominic. Dominic ends up shoving Finn Balor out of the way. And then at that simultaneous movement where Rhea Ripley shoves Dominic and Dominic shoves Finn Balor out the way, Edge performs a high-risk spear onto Dominic. So I'm wondering, is this all a setup? Is this all going to be a bunch of bullshit that Edge is not really part of Judgment Day? This could potentially all be a facade. And for all we know, Edge could be scamming everybody, including us, the fans, and possibly be a part of Judgment Day on the low key. You never know with Edge, especially since Edge is always known for being a heel. And anytime he's been a face, he's always turned into a heel very, very shortly after. Anytime he's been a face, he's never been a face long term. So who knows, guys? We might be. Do you think we're getting scammed by Edge? we might be getting scammed by Edge. It's a very, very possible. It's a very, very big chance and very, very big possibility that Edge is scamming all of us, making us think, I should say, that he's against Judgment Day, but low key, he might actually be with Judgment Day, and we just don't even know it. There might be a low key cahoots going on between Edge and Judgment Day. We're gonna see how that's gonna develop in the upcoming weeks. Very interesting. Let me see if there's any other comments before we go ahead and shut it down. All right, guys. So it looks like all the comments have been read for tonight. No more comments to address. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. Tonight was WWE Raw, August 1st, 2022. Guys, if you want to catch the recap, it'll be available on YouTube and Facebook. By the way, as I stated earlier, for those who tuned in late, if you're catching any of the recap, I did miss the first 30 or 40 minutes of Raw. So just wanted to let you know if there was anything in that first 30 or 40 minutes. I wasn't able to give you the live updates on that portion. However, I was able to give you the live updates on everything else regarding tonight's Raw, and also gave you a few, spoilers and updates on SummerSlam. And I will give a full spoiler recap on SummerSlam in case if anyone missed it, and in case if anyone didn't get a chance to see the results. I'll be performing that sometime this week, and also giving my insight of the journey to SummerSlam as far as me road tripping it over there from Florida to Tennessee. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today on this edition of WWE Raw, August 1st, 2022. Raw was really good tonight. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoy it. Again, watch the recap. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You guys have a great evening. Stay blessed. Stay safe. I'll see if I can catch you tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow I'll catch you for either NXT 2.0 or for AEW Dark. I'm almost tempted to want to do AEW Dark because last week's NXT 2.0 was a whole lot of talking and not a whole lot of action. So I may convert over to AEW Dark. I know I said that last week and I ended up doing NXT 2.0 again, but who knows? I might switch over to AEW Dark because the last couple of weeks, AEW Dark has been getting a lot better, and I've been covering NXT 2.0, and I think AEW has been outperforming NXT on the Tuesday shows. So with that being said, thank you so much for enjoying this edition of Raw, August 1st, 2022. We will go ahead and end the broadcast here. Thank you so much, you guys. Hope you guys all have a safe and blessed evening, as I always tell you. And this is going to be the end of the road for me here tonight as far as the coverage for this show. Have a good one. Peace.